words World War II or the Holocaust, what comes to mind? For many people, they think of things such as concentration camps or people like Hitler. While these are very important factors of the Holocaust, there are many other events that transpired at this time that many people do not know of. It is important to understand that there were many more events going on behind the scenes. I have recently taken a course in Holocaust studies and researched several different topics to enhance my knowledge and to provide you with the proper information. My purpose is to inform you on 3 events of the Holocaust that have been overlooked. Today, I will be informing you on Babi Yar, the T4 program, and kinder transport. The Babi Yar massacre was one of the most haunting and fatal tragedies of the Holocaust. The massacre took place in the month of June of 1941 in the Ukraine. At this time, there had been around 160,000 Jews that populated the city of Kiev, which made up about 20% of the city's population according to US Babi Yar was a small ravine that was located north of Kiev. With the intent to exterminate all Jews in the city of Kiev, on September 29th and 30th, thousands of Jews have been marched by the Germans to Babi Yar. According to author Norman Neimark, 34,000 people were massacred and buried in mass graves, all within 48 hours. One of the few known survivors of the Babi Yar massacre was a woman named Dina Pronikeva. According to a testimony from Dina herself, she had accidentally fallen into one of the mass graves and waited until the middle of that night to make her escape. In the effort of destroying any of the remaining evidence of the genocide, in August of 1943, Nazis had forced prisoners to dig up the bodies, that way they could be burned. These prisoners later realized that they would be murdered themselves and made an effort to escape, but only 18 out of the 327 prisoners were able to succeed. Neimark also stated that there were around 100,000 total people that were killed at Babi Yar between the years of 1941 and 1943. Even though Babi Yar was a tragedy, there was a much more secret program going on called the T4 program. The victims of the T4 program were those who the Nazis defined as life unworthy of life, which was not limited to children. According to Doris Bergen, the term T4 was a code name that stood for the address of the operations headquarters in Berlin. The ideology of the program was to rid the world the Nazis deemed as undesirable. The program was first authorized in 1939 by Hitler. The targets were those who had any mental or physical disability. The first major project of the T4 program was the Children's Euthanasia Program, which was led by Philip Bowler and Dr. Karl Brandt. According to author Diego Wazinski, the Children's Euthanasia Program began when a Nazi party member had petitioned to have his handicapped daughter killed. After visiting the child and confirming that she was in fact handicapped, Hitler had authorized a physician to have the child euthanized. By August of 1939, doctors were required to report any child that was born with a congenital deformity. This would include things such as blindness, spinal bifida, and missing limbs. By June of 1940, these patients were required to repeat a questionnaire that asked them about things such as the child's illness, their religion, and if the mother had done any activities that would affect the child's health, like smoke, during the pregnancy. In the beginning, medical professionals believed that this document was just to have a basic medical record on file. These documents would then be sent to Berlin to go through the selection process. The selection process would decide which children would need to be euthanized. Shortly after the Children's Euthanasia Program was created, Nazis began to target mentally ill and disabled adults. In September of 1939, Nazis began to target mental hospitals, nursing homes, and asylums. According to the International Journal of Mental Health, patients who had been institutionalized for 5 years, detained as criminal mental patients, or did not possess German blood or German citizenship had to be registered. After those who were registered were selected for death, patients would be sent to one of 6 extermination camps where they would then be sent to the gas chamber. Even though there were many children being victimized because of the children's euthanasia program, there were many people putting their lives at stake to protect children. The Kinder Transport was a refugee operation that saved nearly 10,000 children from Germany, Austria, and Czechoslovakia. Children of the age 16 or younger were the only ones that were qualified to receive help. Before being chosen to be transported, parents had to complete an application and hope that their child would be approved. After being transported to Great Britain, the children had to quickly adjust to a new life. When they first arrived, the children would be taken to a reception camp where host families would come and pick out their children. The system did not last long because it left a disadvantage to the boys not being picked. Those who worked for the Kinder Transport operation would often place children from a religious background with Jewish families. Children in this situation would often be pressured to convert from their host families. One of the most influential people involved in the Kinder Transport operation was Nicholas Winton. In 1938, a British stockbroker named Nicholas was urged by his friend to come visit him in Czechoslovakia to become a member of the British Committee for Refugees from Czechoslovakia. The goal of this committee was to help people that had become refugees due to the German annexation. After joining the committee, Nicholas quickly developed the children's section. According to researchers, in a scrapbook that Nicholas had kept of the children that he helped transport, he had saved over 600 children with his organization. Today, I inform you on 3 of the many events that have been overlooked during the Holocaust. I hope that you feel well informed of the events of Babi Yar massacre, the T4 program, and the Kinder Transport operation. Hopefully, when you think of the Holocaust, you think of something other than Hitler or concentration camps. It is important to know that there are events that went on and do not push them aside.